And taking a live look outside this Monday morning, it is going to be an absolutely stunning Monday. Stunning start to our work week. Could see record highs today, but don't get used to this because we got some turbulence in our very near future.
What's up with that lower title there? False spring question mark. Let's not even put that in the universe, people.
Hey, no complaints. After yesterday, it was absolutely gorgeous. I want to say good morning, first of all. Thank you for joining us here on Good Day Chicago. I'm Anthony Ponce.
And I'm Gabriela Primus. Caitlin is standing by with some good news for today. Maybe not so good news for tomorrow.
No. I like the word turbulent. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah, big changes are happening. Really, the first half of this week, there's so much to discuss with the weather. First of all, today is going to be phenomenal, as you just heard these two mention. Temperatures are going to be about 10 degrees warmer than we were even yesterday. Highs in the low 70s this afternoon. This morning, mostly clear conditions. Temperatures are hovering in the 40s to around 50 degrees, so it feels good. Right now, you're stepping out the door to 46 at Lakefront, but it is still 50 in Gary, 45 in Kankakee, 49 at LaSalle, 45 at Woodstock. So temperatures, they're pretty comfortable this morning. But with the sunshine, we are going to have one hiccup. Gusty wind, 25 to 30 mile per hour winds are possible today. But really, the sunny skies are going to be pushing those temperatures to the low 70s, so a lovely day. We have the chance for severe weather tomorrow and then the chance for snow mixing in with rain on Wednesday. A full detailed check of your forecast is ahead. First, though, checking in with Gabby and traffic.
Caitlin, your drive times are looking okay. You could take a look here. As I go through a couple of crashes, though, that are off the expressway. One is in Marquette Park, a really serious crash, it looks like, on one of our side streets. Possibly involves some injuries here. We're trying to get more information from CPD. Kedzie Avenue is going to be closed because of this through Marquette Park as police investigate this. So use Lawndale, California near the park instead as an alternate route. Also in the Plainfield area, Route 59 and Norman Avenue. There's a crash involving a couple of vehicles. Crews are on scene. Plus there's ambulances there. So you're going to see a lot of flashing lights in this area. Please stay away so that crews can do their job. Again, your drive time is looking okay. I'll keep you updated. This morning, Iran has a new supreme leader.
56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei is the son of Iran's last supreme leader who was killed in an Israeli strike. This succession is a clear stance by the Islamic Republic that they are not backing down to Israel, to the U.S. In an interview last week, President Trump called Khamenei a lightweight, saying he would not support someone who continued policies of the past. The president has said he should have a say in deciding Iran's next leader, and he is calling for Iran's unconditional surrender.
I think it's a great thing, not only for our country, and not only for Israel, not only for the Middle East, but for the world.
On Sunday, U.S. Central Command confirmed the death of a 7th U.S. service member who died after being injured during an attack on Saudi Arabia back on March 1st. Meantime, the bodies of 6 service members killed by an Iranian drone strike in Kuwait are now back home. The president and vice president saluted the flag-draped caskets during the dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. President Trump called the 6 great heroes and said that their deaths are a very sad situation.
Well, Pope Leo is making a new appeal for a return to diplomacy in the Middle East. He raised concerns the conflict could spread further during a prayer in St. Peter's Square, saying, quote, "Let us raise our humble prayer to the Lord that the roar of bombs may cease, that weapons may fall silent, and that space may be open for dialogue in which the voices of peoples can be heard."
This morning, oil prices have surged past $100 a barrel for the first time in more than 3 years.
Our Saquon is live with the growing fears about how this could cost us. Good morning, Say.
Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, I mean, the gas that you use to fill up your tank is made from the oil that's produced by countries near Iran. And as the war continues playing out in the Middle East, that really means your gas prices are only going to go up. Now, guys, when there's a war, we know oil fields and storage sites can be attacked, which we already saw happen with attacks to several Iranian fuel sites. Tanker ships also limit traveling during this time, of course, because it's dangerous. Iran has also closed the Strait of Hormuz, which is where about 20% of the world's oil passes through. It actually makes it one of the busiest and most significant shipping routes in the world. Therefore, any disruption to traffic through there can have some really big impacts to oil shipments. Right now, the spike in gas prices here in the U.S. all comes down to supply and demand, right? So when supply goes down, but demand stays the same, prices go up. But given the current climate with war making it harder to produce and ship oil right now, that means the world overall gets less oil, which also means the gasoline you use to fill up your tank becomes a lot more expensive. People across the country, including right here at home, have been really feeling that strain as they fill up the tank. Right now in Illinois, it'll cost you an average of $3.52 per gallon for regular gas. That is slightly higher than the national average, which is $3.48 a gallon. Gas prices, of course, do vary depending on where you are filling up. We know, according to AAA, some data this morning showed Cook County has some of the highest gas prices in the state right now. We are in Skokie this morning, and I will say we are seeing cheaper gas prices, especially compared to that national average I mentioned. Right now, just behind me at the BP, we're seeing about $3.39 a gallon. In front of me, I see another gas station going for about $3.44 a gallon for regular gas. Guys.
All right, thank you so much, Say. We'll catch up with you again. Meantime, some more news from over the weekend. Chicago police say they've arrested a man they believe shot and killed 2 women on the south side of the city. Officers were called to South Peoria just before 11 Saturday night. When they got there, they found a 71-year-old and 68-year-old woman shot in the chest. They were already dead. Police say they've arrested a 75-year-old man and have the possible murder weapon. There is no word yet on how the suspect and victims were connected.
Chicago police also investigating another act of violence on the CTA. This time a shooting at the 79th Street Red Line stop happened around 1 in the morning Sunday. Officers say it started with an argument between several people when things got physical. A 21-year-old and a 23-year-old both shot. Right now they are seriously hurt in the hospital. Officers have arrested 3 people. And this does follow a series of violent incidents on the CTA. According to city data, assaults and batteries on trains have climbed 33% in the last year, while robberies and thefts have dropped. In November, a man set a woman on fire on the Blue Line train. That gained the attention of the Trump administration. The CTA added 120 Chicago police officers to patrol trains and buses, but the Federal Transit Administration says it's not enough. They have given the CTA until March 19th to submit a new safety plan. A confrontation between a Chicago couple and a group of teenagers. The video of it was caught. It's going viral.
The video shows a man throwing water onto the kids as they were leaving a dance studio on Friday night. They tell us that they believe it was racially motivated.
No, it's not. Not here. It's not. You're lucky ISIS is not here.
Have you on video. Have you on video what you're doing.
The kids and families were leaving Ballet Folklorico de Chicago Friday night at 10 p.m. when the women and man started yelling at them about noise. Police say the man threw multiple cups of a liquid at them, hitting some of the children.
I'm gonna have you locked up. Wait, what? I'm gonna have you locked up. You. This is a business. I will be. This is a business.
The neighbor upstairs came out and he started yelling at everyone, saying that, like, oh, you guys don't belong here. I hope ICE comes get you.
He was cursing us out. He was saying that we were lucky that ICE wasn't here. It was very terrifying.
It's actually scary because we don't know. We've seen how it can escalate, and we just didn't know how much this person was going to escalate it, especially after using attacks like that towards us or those type of words.
Ballet Folklorico provides dance classes to celebrate Mexican heritage. They partner with Chicago Public Schools to offer after-school cultural programs. No one answered the door of that apartment when we knocked. Chicago police are investigating.
Today, the National Weather Service is assessing damage up in Union City, Michigan after an EF3 tornado tore through that area on Friday. That tornado killed several people, including a 12-year-old boy. The multi-day outbreak of severe weather started in Texas and then quickly spread across the Midwest. You can see this video of the aftermath here. It is absolutely awful. That whole area completely leveled. And the National Weather Service says it's possible that this gets upgraded to an EF4.
We got people from Chicago, from Kansas City, these experts that have been on these very destructive tornadoes. And what they're doing is they're reviewing some of the data points that I've had, that I collected and shared back with them. And so we'll make the determination whether there is support and evidence of an EF4. A lot of the construction back there is 1970s, so it will be difficult, but we're going to take our due diligence and review that.
A heartbreaking event, obviously, for Michiganders, especially with how early in March this took place. There's a chance for more severe storms in the Midwest, including right here in Chicago this week. And Caitlin, you're saying as early as tomorrow we could see some severe stuff.
Yeah, tomorrow is definitely going to be the day to watch for severe weather. We have the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms on your Tuesday. So remember that Tuesday, with all threats at play for us in Chicagoland, we have the potential for damaging hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes. But today it is going to be quiet, sunny, and warm. Right now you're stepping out the door to 46 degrees at the lakefront with mostly clear skies, 49 at O'Hare, temperatures in the mid-40s for western counties. Talking about DeKalb County, Kane County in the mid-40s. But looking at our futurecast, check out how fast our temperatures are climbing. By lunchtime, we're already in the 60s, which, by the way, yesterday felt good. We were in the low 60s. Today, let's tack on 10 more degrees. I expect highs to be in the low 70s. Now, there is a small chance for a little bit of a sprinkle southeast of the city, southeast of I-80 this evening. And we're going to have those winds at 25 to 30 miles per hour this morning and through the day. Heading into tonight, we have the chance for some fog. And then we're starting off Tuesday quiet. 7:30, temperatures are in the 50s. But as we reach the afternoon hours and especially the evening and into the overnight, we have the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. So we want you to be aware and have multiple ways to receive warnings because of that potential, as mentioned, all hazards in Chicagoland on Tuesday into Tuesday night. We'll take a look at your full forecast, including when we could see some snow ahead.
All right, Caitlin, we'll be paying attention. So we're starting to see long lines at the airport as the DHS shutdown continues. A TSA worker is going to walk us through what's exactly happening there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rajak.
Who work as hard as you do.
Welcome back. Time now 6:14. Here's a look at some of the top stories we are following for you this morning.
Iran has a new supreme leader. 56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei is the son of Iran's last supreme leader who was killed in an Israeli strike. We're waiting to hear from President Trump, but in an interview last week, he called Khamenei a lightweight, saying he would not support someone who continued policies of the past.
Israel is now targeting Iran's oil facilities, sparking large fires over the weekend. This, combined with Iran's threats to attack oil tankers heading through the Strait of Hormuz, is now creating a surge in oil prices. On Truth Social, President Trump says, quote, short-term prices are a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace.
A confrontation outside a Chicago dance studio. It's going viral. It shows a couple yelling racial comments at children leaving a class at Ballet Folklorico de Chicago in Avondale. It also shows the couple throw liquid at the children. No one was hurt, but Chicago police are investigating.
All right, we now know the name of the pilot killed in a Lake County plane crash last week. FAA data show 75-year-old Chester Wonicky from Mount Prospect passed away. His plane clipped the roof of a townhouse right near Deerfield when it went down on Wednesday. No one else was on board. The National Transportation Safety Board is still investigating how that crash happened.
New this morning, Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth are asking the Federal Aviation Administration to use new funding to help with air traffic control shortages at O'Hare Airport. That's according to Cranes. The FAA has $12.5 billion set aside for air traffic control as part of a spending package Congress approved last summer. Meanwhile, the agency wants to cut down on flights at O'Hare this summer. The FAA says major airlines have overbooked, and trimming those down could reduce delays and cancellations. But meanwhile, lines are starting to stack up at airports across the country as the partial government shutdown now continues. The TSA says lines at Houston's airport stretched for more than 3 hours on Sunday. Long lines were also reported at New Orleans International Airport. All of this coming right as spring break travel kicks off.
Walked in, we saw the giant Southwest line, and then realized that I guess there was a TSA staffing shortage, and we realized that we were going to miss our 2:40 flight.
With the shutdown, most TSA officers are working without pay. So the results, a surge in workers calling out, creating the staffing shortages and therefore long lines. Jovan Petrick has been with TSA for 10 plus years and is based out of Phoenix. He calls the shutdown a huge economic roller coaster.
Houston, Atlanta passengers, how many delays is it? How many flight attendants are being impacted by this because of their flights either being delayed or being canceled out? That means they're not getting paid. If you're not sitting behind the controls as a pilot, you're not getting the paycheck.
Now, the Trump administration and DHS are pointing fingers at Democrats, saying this chaos is a result of their refusal to fund DHS. The Senate voted Thursday 51-45, failing to advance a legislation to end the partial shutdown.
This is a problem of policy, not personnel. The rot is deep. No one person can straighten this up until the president changes the whole agency, stops the violence, and reins in ICE.
Democrats go on to say they're not backing down until Republicans agree on things like requiring judicial warrants for ICE operations, removing masks from agents, and requiring body cameras. Now, we're not hearing about these kinds of delays at O'Hare or Midway, but that could change at a moment's notice.
Indeed. And sounds like, Caitlin, we've got some good stuff for our Monday, but then things turn a little dramatic, right?
Exactly right. Yes. This morning it's quiet. We've got mostly clear skies. Temperatures, they're pretty comfortable. You can see behind me, the skies are starting to get a little brighter. And this afternoon, it's going to be downright warm. Highs in the low 70s. A little bit gusty. We're seeing winds around 25 to 30 miles per hour this morning, and that's going to be possible throughout the day. But really, quiet conditions for us today. Tomorrow is the day to be weather aware, because tomorrow on Tuesday we have the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. Right now, though, it's 46 degrees at the lakefront, a good mix of the mid to upper 40s. I see a 50 even holding on there in Gary. Here's our current wind speeds, gusting to 24 miles per hour at Midway and O'Hare. So 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts, but beautiful conditions, sunshine, and around 56 degrees by 10. By 1 p.m. lunchtime, 66. Highs, as mentioned, pushing to the low 70s. Talking about tomorrow, our Storm Prediction Center's outlook for Chicagoland, it's not good. Enhanced, level 3 of 5. In orange, from Chicago, point south. Yellow represents a slight risk, level 2 of 5, for severe storms Tuesday. So Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and Tuesday night. Make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings, because all hazards are possible in Chicagoland on Tuesday. Tornadoes, hail, and damaging wind. I'll time it out on our Futurecast ahead. Gabby, how's traffic?
Caitlin, we're looking okay again on our interior expressways here that take you into the city. You can take a look at your drive times. We're under 30 minutes on the Kennedy, Eisenhower, and Stevenson, around 25 minutes on the Dan Ryan right now. Still talking about this crash over in Plainfield. That seems pretty serious. So Route 59 is shut down between Renwick and Fort Beggs. Police are asking you to seek an alternate route. Also, we're giving you an update on what seems to be a deadly rollover crash in Marquette Park. Again, we're waiting on confirmation here, but reports are saying that involves, unfortunately, a death here. The crash occurred close to 4 a.m. We're hearing this location is on Man Drive. This is on the west side of the park there, Marquette Park. So please seek an alternate route in that location as well. Anthony.
All right, Gabby, thank you. It's a problem affecting renters across the city. A new report finds Chicago is way below where it needs to be when it comes to affordable housing. Coming up, we're going to break down the numbers.
This is the oversight Illinois needs.
Welcome back. We now know the Obama Presidential Center will open in Jackson Park on Juneteenth weekend. Celebrations are planned for June 18th to the 21st, and the center officially opens on June 19th. It includes a museum, playground, spaces for public programming, public art, and of course the branch of the Chicago Public Library. City officials say the center is expected to draw 700,000 visitors every year and create more than 5,000 jobs, but has also faced some lawsuits and delays. We've reported this before. Some neighbors of the Obama Center are still fighting to delay its opening. They say rising rents are forcing them out of their homes. Tenants at the Cheney Braggs apartment say a buyer from California wants to gut and rehab the place or tear it down. The property went into foreclosure in 2023 and now has a court-appointed receiver making repairs. Even though the building has to stay low-income housing until 2032, rents could still go up to the IHDA cap. Some tenants have been there for close to 40 years.
We have contributed to this community. We have put in good faith in this community. We go to church in this community. Our kids go to school here. Our kids play here. We go to the park. The field house is right down the street. So yes, I want to stay. I want to stay right where I'm at.
The tenants formed a union 2 years ago after the last landlord left. They teamed up with the city to keep services going and found out about the buyer who's supposedly offering $2,000 for them to move out.
And their complaints, their track with new data from a new report which shows that the Chicago area is short nearly 225,000 affordable rental units. This is according to Housing Action Illinois and the National Low Income Housing Coalition. There are only 31 affordable homes for every 100 extremely low income households. So those renters have annual incomes at or below 30% of the area's median income. In Chicago, that is just in Chicago, I should say, that is just under $36,000 for a family of 4.
Sunday was International Women's Day, and thousands gathered in Daley Plaza to celebrate. They rallied and then marched through the loop to demand justice, equity, and an end to oppression. Organizers set up tables so that people could connect with groups doing the work in the community. Elected officials, organizers, and advocates all took to the mic to send a message about equality for women.
We're here to show up and show solidarity for our sisters and moms and all the wonderful women in our life who are probably pretty scared right now because of what's happening at the highest levels of our government.
We're out here with 1,000 women and supporters just fighting for the rights of women, ensuring that bodily autonomy is something that remains, particularly now in this moment where so much is at stake, and just being loud and unapologetic about who we are and our right to exist.
International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the achievements of women. It also marks a call to action for gender equality. It is a holiday in more than 20 countries. March is also Women's History Month.
There is about to be a big hole on the Mag Mile. Saks Fifth Avenue going to be closing its store at 700 North Michigan. And this is part of a larger wave of closures nationwide. The company is shutting down 11 different locations as it works through voluntary Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Saks has closed other stores as well, several of them in recent months, including the discount Saks on State Street. All right, if you're like me, you might have found it hard to sleep last night. You wouldn't be alone here. The switch over to daylight saving time can take days to adjust to.
And there's more, there's a movement pushing, and we've heard this before, lock the clock to end daylight saving time. But meanwhile, a bipartisan bill stalled in Congress is working to actually do the opposite and to make it permanent.
When we're looking at people being on permanent daily saving time, that actually changes our relationship to the sun. If we are on permanent daylight saving time, we're going to have many more dark mornings.
Health experts also recommend ending the time switch, with some saying sticking to a permanent standard time better aligns our biological clocks with the sun. 6:27, Caitlin standing by. Is your family marked safe from the time change, or are you guys struggling too?
Let's just keep it one or the other. One or the other. I don't care which. You guys pick which. But let's just, like, the change. Okay. This morning, it is lovely. We are going to have a really nice day. Record heat, temperatures in the low 70s, sunshine, just a little bit of a gusty wind. But tomorrow we have the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. A full breakdown of your forecast is ahead.
All new Tuesdays on Fox.
Time is now 6:30. You're watching Good Day Chicago. New chaos at airports this morning as the Homeland Security shutdown drags on.
And a confrontation between a couple and a group of children is caught on camera, and the video is going viral. We will hear reaction from the kids' families.
First, growing fears over rising oil prices as U.S. and Israeli strikes across Iran enter a new week. The White House says oil reserves and supplies are at solid levels as the Pentagon is reportedly preparing to ask Congress for billions in new funds.
Rebecca Castor is in Washington with the latest on the conflict. And Rebecca, oil prices, we understand it's above $100 for a barrel of crude for the first time in years. So what is the trickle-down effect here on gas prices?
Yeah, well, Anthony, that's the first time we're seeing that number since July 2022, and that is going to put the national average at the pump at about $3.45 per gallon. President Trump sees this as a temporary blip. He wants Americans to hold on here, let the U.S. military see the operation through in Iran, and then he says that once it's wrapped up, he expects prices will fall quickly.
You know, Rebecca, we also have to ask the Pentagon, or as we mentioned, the Pentagon is expected to ask Congress for more funding for this conflict. Any specific numbers out there?
Yeah. Well, early estimates we're hearing from lawmakers is that it could be as much as $50 billion.
$50 billion. So how do you expect lawmakers to react to that number?
Yeah, we're not hearing too much reaction just yet. A lot of lawmakers want to keep their comments close until they see that final price tag. But from the few GOP senators we have heard from, specifically we heard from Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator John Barrasso, they say they're going to support whatever the Pentagon sends over. They see it as a necessary investment to keep Americans safe. It's going to be hard for the White House to find any support from Democrats on this. As you know, as it stands right now, Democrats are not even supportive of this military option right now.
All right, and then Rebecca, all this comes as Iran selects a new supreme leader, as we've been reporting this morning. Who is this person, and what kind of policies can we expect from him?
Well, it's the 56-year-old son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. It's the 56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei. So obviously they're related, and a lot of their policies are the same as well. So that is why President Trump sees this as a completely unacceptable option, and it's going to make further negotiations between the U.S. and Iran nearly impossible. So it will be interesting to see how the White House moves forward in light of his announcement.
And Rebecca, in terms of the possibility of boots on the ground in Iran, I know a lot of Americans are concerned about that. Where does that stand right now?
Yeah, so the White House has said that that is currently not part of the plan at this point, but it keeps coming up because President Trump is not ruling it out. The White House's explanation for this is that President Trump is not going to take an option off the table while the military operation is still ongoing. But again, they say it's not happening right now.
All right, Rebecca Castor, we know that things are changing every 24 hours, even less than that. So thank you for keeping us informed.
All right, 6:34 back here in Chicago. Let's send it over to Caitlin Cody. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. And we're at the beginning of a beautiful day here, it sounds like.
It's going to be a wonderful day today. Perfect weather. Temperatures in the low 70s this afternoon. We're going to have gusty winds up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. But this morning, you can see it's already clear. We have sunshine start to finish. We have a few clouds rolling in south this evening and the chance for a sprinkle or two south of I-80 this evening. But in the meantime, right now, it's perfect, quiet. Again, gusting to around 25 miles per hour with the wind, but outside of that, it's 46 degrees at the lakefront, 49 at O'Hare. Temperatures in the mid-40s for western areas, but most of us are in the upper 40s to about 50 degrees. 72 is our high this afternoon. It's going to be quiet outside of those gusts, but we have big changes happening. Tomorrow, the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. So let's take a look at our futurecast and time this out. Again, by the afternoon, we still have sunshine. This evening, the clouds start to build, and we have that chance for a sprinkle, especially southeast of I-80. Tonight, we have the potential for some fog development, and then then tomorrow we start off the day quiet before that chance for rain and storms moves in. The afternoon, the evening, and even into the overnight, Tuesday night, the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms. And we actually expect rain again on Wednesday morning that could be impacting your drive before temperatures drop to the point where we could see some rain snow mix on Wednesday. So Tuesday is the day to be weather aware. We'll talk about your full 70 forecast ahead. Gabby.
Caitlin, let's talk about some work that's going to be happening in the Arlington Heights Palatine area. We have Skyfox over this spot right now and is really busy, as we know, but work associated with the Route 53 construction project that's been happening the last couple of years is scheduled to reduce Palatine Road to one lane in each direction underneath Route 53 until Saturday, August 1st. Now, those lane closures that are supposed to be in place as of this morning aren't in place just yet, but be on the lookout for some. Also, right now, there is a northbound lane closure, Kirchhoff to Northwest Highway. So please be aware of this. It's going to get a little messy. Expect some lane shifts in this area. Stay with us. Good Day Chicago. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and we're starting with some local news from over the weekend. Chicago police say they've arrested a man they believe shot and killed two women on the south side of the city. Officers were called to South Peoria just before 11 Saturday night. When they got there, they found a 71-year-old and 68-year-old woman shot in the chest. They were already dead. Police say they've arrested a 75-year-old man and have the possible murder weapon. There is no word yet on how the suspect and victims are connected.
Chicago police also investigating another act of violence that happened on the CTA. This incident happened on the Red Line at 79th Street. It happened around 1 in the morning Sunday. Officers say it started with an argument between several people when things got physical. A 21-year-old and a 23-year-old were shot. They ended up in the hospital in serious condition. Officers have arrested a total of 3 people. And it follows a series of violent incidents on the CTA. According to city data, assaults and batteries on trains have climbed 33% over the past year, while robberies and thefts have dropped. In November, a man set a woman on fire on the Blue Line. That gained national attention. It attracted the attention of the Trump administration, federal authorities. The CTA has since added 120 Chicago police officers to patrol the trains and buses. But the Federal Transit Administration says so far the CTA hasn't done enough. They have given the agency until March 19th to come up with a new safety plan or risk losing federal funding. All right, a confrontation between a Chicago couple and a group of teenagers. The video of it is going viral.
Yeah, let's show you some of this video. It shows a man throwing water onto the kids as they were leaving a dance studio on Friday night. They tell us they believe it was racially motivated. The kids and their families were leaving Ballet Folklorico de Chicago Friday night at 10 p.m. when the women and man started yelling at them about noise. Police say the man threw multiple cups of a liquid at them, hitting some of the children.
I'm gonna have you locked up. Wait, what? I'm gonna have you locked up. You. This is a business. I will be. This is a business.
The neighbor upstairs came out and he started yelling at everyone saying that like, oh, you guys don't belong here. I hope ICE comes get you.
He was cursing us out. He was saying that we were lucky that ICE wasn't here. It was very terrifying.
It's actually scary because we don't know. We've seen how it can escalate, and we just didn't know how much this person was going to escalate it, especially after using attacks like that towards us or those type of words.
Ballet Folklorico provides dance classes to celebrate Mexican heritage. They partner with Chicago Public Schools to offer after-school cultural programs. No one answered the door of the apartment when we knocked. Chicago police are investigating. All right, 6:42. After the break, we take you to Michigan, where authorities are cleaning up after a deadly tornado outbreak. I saw that video. We're tracking the threat ahead here in Chicago this week. We'll be right back.
Local Chicago.
Welcome back at 6:45 on your Monday morning. Here's some of the top stories we are following.
Iran has a new supreme leader. 56-year-old Mojtaba Khamenei is the son of Iran's last supreme leader who was killed in an Israeli airstrike. We're waiting to hear from President Trump, but in an interview last week, he called Khamenei a lightweight, saying he would not support someone who continued policies of the past.
Israel is now targeting Iran's oil facilities, sparking large fires over the weekend. And that, combined with Iran's threats to attack oil tankers heading through the Strait of Hormuz, is creating a surge in oil prices. Via Truth Social, President Trump says, quote, short-term prices are a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. New York City police say they found a suspicious device in a car right near Mayor Zoran Mamdani's house. That vehicle is now connected to an investigation into Saturday protests right near Gracie Mansion. That is the mayor's official residence. Officers arrested 2 people on Saturday accused of supplying and throwing explosive devices that never detonated during those protests.
A woman is in custody after allegedly shooting at the Beverly Hills mansion of pop star Rihanna. Police say one bullet pierced a wall of the home. They say Rihanna was home at the time. Police are now working to determine a motive.
Today, the National Weather Service is assessing damage up in Union City, Michigan, after an EF3 tornado tore through that area on Friday. Look at the aftermath there. It's awful. The tornado killed several people, including a 12-year-old boy. The multi-day outbreak of severe weather started in Texas, quickly spreading across the Midwest. You can see homes are completely leveled. And the National Weather Service says it's possible that this gets upgraded to an EF4.
We got people from Chicago, from Kansas City, these experts that have been on these very destructive tornadoes. And what they're doing is they're reviewing some of the data points that I've had, that I collected and shared back with them. And so we'll make the determination whether there is support and evidence of an EF4. A lot of the construction back there is 1970s, so it will be difficult, but we're going to take our due diligence and review that.
The heartbreaking event for Michiganders, especially with how early in March this happened. There's a chance for more severe storms here in the Midwest, including here in Chicago, a little bit later this week.
Yeah, and Caitlin, you're following that for us. Even this tornado, a little too close to home.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, and this early in March, it's pretty wild. As we take a look at the sunrise here in Chicago, at least for the time being, today, Monday is going to be a stunner outside, isn't it, Caitlin?
That doesn't even look real.
No.
Right?
Wow. I'm not surprised. No, it is going to be a beautiful day today. We're starting off the week quiet today. Warm temperatures, sunshine, a little bit of a gusty breeze. But tomorrow, Tuesday, remember this, Chicagoland, Tuesday, the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, the evening, and even into the overnight. So Tuesday night. But right now, it's quiet. You saw from that live shot, it is stunning. Temperatures are ranging in the 40s, if not 50 degrees out there. Right now, it is 50 in Gary as our warm spot, but it's 46 degrees at the lakefront, 49 at O'Hare. I see 43 in DeKalb, 44 at Woodstock, 45 in Kankakee. Today, temperatures are going to be pushing to the low 70s. I expect to be right around 72 degrees, which would be a new record for today. With that wind coming in, as mentioned, up to 25 miles per hour, perhaps 30 at times. It is going to be a sunny day. And tonight will be quiet. We have the potential for some fog to develop. Lows right around 50. And then we start off the day tomorrow on the quiet side. But by the afternoon, as mentioned, we have the chance for strong to severe thunderstorms, especially after about 4 p.m. on into tomorrow night, the chance for severe weather. With all hazards at play, we have the potential for tornadoes, damaging hail, and damaging wind with the thunderstorms. Again, this is on your Tuesday, so have multiple ways to receive warnings and have a plan, an action plan for tomorrow because of that potential for severe weather. It is just about 6:50. Let's check in with Gabby and see how your commute's going.
Caitlin, people are starting to hit the roads now on this Monday morning. We're at 30 minutes on the Dan Ryan from 95th to the Byrne interchange. Around 40 minutes on the Stevenson from 355 to DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Same on the Eisenhower. And looking actually the same on the Kennedy, too, from O'Hare to downtown. If you're on your way to the airport, I'm going to say 30 minutes right now. Still getting a little bit heavy as you approach that 190 ramp that'll take you to O'Hare. So be aware of that. No major incidents to talk about on these expressways, but we do have 2 two reports. One is a vehicle fire on the southbound side of the Tri-State near Wolf Road, and the other is westbound on I-80. It's an exit ramp to northbound I-55. It's a crash that's partially blocking that ramp. Antho.
Okay, thank you, Gabby. Appreciate it. It's 10 minutes till 7 o'clock on your Monday morning. This is going to be a treat in the weather department today to start our work week. Gorgeous weather out there to start the week, and Caitlin's tracking some severe weather, though, en route for tomorrow. All right, we'll be right back with more Good Day right after this.
Stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Welcome back. We now know the name of the pilot who was killed in a Lake County plane crash last week. FAA data show 75-year-old Chester Wonicki was from Mount Prospect, and his plane evidently clipped the roof of a townhouse right near Deerfield when it went down on Wednesday, unincorporated Deerfield. No one else was on board that plane. The NTSB is still investigating how that crash happened.
Lines are starting to stack up at airports across the country as the partial government shutdown continues. The TSA says lines at Houston's airport stretched for more than 3 hours on Sunday. Long lines were also reported at the New Orleans International Airport. All of this is coming right as spring break travel kicks off.
Walked in, we saw the giant Southwest line, and then realized that I guess there was a TSA staffing shortage, and we realized that we were going to miss our 2:40 flights.
With the shutdown, most TSA officers are working without pay, and the result, a surge in workers calling out, creating the staffing shortages and therefore the long lines we're seeing. One man has been a TSA agent for 10 plus years and is based out of Phoenix. He calls the shutdown a huge economic roller coaster.
Houston, Atlanta passengers, how many delays is it? How many flight attendants are being impacted by this because of their flights either being delayed or being canceled out? That means they're not getting paid. If you're not sitting behind the controls as a pilot, you're not getting the paycheck.
The Trump administration and DHS are pointing fingers at Democrats, saying this chaos is a result of their refusal to fund DHS. The Senate voted Thursday 51-45, failing to advance the legislation to end the partial shutdown.
This is a problem of policy, not personnel. The rot is deep. No one person can straighten this up until the president changes the whole agency, stops the violence, and reins in ICE.
Democrats say they're not backing down until Republicans agree on things like requiring judicial warrants for ICE operations, removing masks from agents, and requiring body cameras. Now, we're not hearing about these kinds of delays at O'Hare Midway, but that could change at a moment's notice. 6:56, plenty more Good Day Chicago ahead. Please keep it right here.
This is the oversight Illinois needs.
The U.S. military says it carried out another strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 6 men.
U.S. Southern Command says intelligence